It's not working today.
All right. And now we are live on Facebook. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of WTF Live. It is episode number 28. Woohoo! We are rocking and rolling. And today's topic is going to be awnings. We're just going to talk about retractable awnings.
And usually we talk about window treatments most of the time, but we do try to put in the awnings as a topic at least once a month because it's really a great opportunity for the designers out there to present to their clients, as well as for the customers listening to us. Know that now that you're stuck at home, nobody's traveling anywhere, we are trying to make the outsides of our homes more beautiful and more lived in and less sunny, if you will. So we definitely want to add awnings to our presentations here, and that's what we're going to do today. As soon as I get this PowerPoint up and running, we are in business. All right, you ready, Kim?
I am.
Okay, here's our first picture.
Okay, so this project is one that it's a simple retractable awning, and we installed it under, the soffit of that roof in that area there. And these clients had a little sitting and patio area that they wanted shade, and it also gives shade to, you can see to the right of the awnings, there are some French doors that open in and out to their home. So the awning not only helps shade the area of the patio, but also helps give shade to the interior part of the home. So it's a dual function in this case. And as you can see, this fabric is a nice blue and white striped fabric, and it has a valance that hangs off of the front bar that's straight. There are different shapes for the valances that you can opt for, and they also opted for white hardware that match the siding of their house.
And it's a nice contrast between the fabric and the hardware too. The fabric being the blue and white stripe, and the hardware being white. I think it's a really nice combination there.
Yes, and all fabrics are outdoor fabrics. They are Simbrella fabrics, so they can take, the elements. With retractable awnings, they are mostly for shading. They're not going to give you any kind of rain protection and everything else. These are not meant to handle water. If you do keep it out in the rain, what happens is if the fabric absorbs a lot of water, it tends to stretch, and then it creates a little bit of a belly. So anytime it rains, you want to make sure you bring that awning in to protect the fabric, the hardware, because we've had instances where clients have forgot to leave it out in the rain, and we had those crazy thunderstorms. It could stretch the fabric, and it's just not a good thing. So these are really for sun and sun protection.
And the good thing is with the rain, or during the rain, I should say, these awnings are hardly ever operated by a crank handle. They can be, but it's really not the right thing to do. You really need to have it motorized, and usually that switch is inside the house. So it's just a matter of, turning it, kind of like flipping it, or, pressing the button essentially, and the awning retracts back.
Yeah, it's not only just an interior switch, there's also a handheld remote. My parents coincidentally got their retractable awning from Window Works 15 years ago. No, more than that, way more than that. Just kidding, because I was in college when they got it. So a lot more than 15 years ago. So, and they just keep the remote attached to, it's hanging in the laundry room, and you don't have to, it's not like a TV or old school where you have to point the remote at the awning. You could just hit the remote from the inside, and it retracts the awning in and out.
Perfect. All right, let's talk about this monster. My God, Kim, I saw this picture and I'm like, whoa, I'm so like, what is this? I had to kind of focus myself, kind of be like, what's happening?
So this is the project that JC did, and this is someone's outdoor patio and their barbecue.
Oh, really? I thought this was a restaurant.
No, this is someone's backyard. See, they're trying to, get their backyards ready to make you feel like you're in a resort. And
we can't go to restaurants anymore anyway, or at least it's like 25-50% capacity. And now in our area, they're being kind of closed down now that the cases are up, but not that we want to bring it up. But yes, this is why we do this, because we are truly cooped up at home a lot more than we've ever been.
Yeah, so if you want to feel like you're at some really great resort and want that shade and that whole vibe, this is what this client did. Now this isn't a typical installation, but this was something that we installed the awning on their railing because their backyard patio was kind of two different levels.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was a little crazy, so we had to make sure that the railing was properly secured and anchored to handle the weight of the awning. So this wasn't just like, hey, let's just slap an awning on the railing and call it a day. A lot of things went into this, making sure the structure was sound, that the footers of the railing could handle the weight, because this was a pretty big awning. And the awning does go out over the patio because they wanted to be able to, if they had a company or a party and people were sitting there having drinks, instead of having umbrellas, because again, the sun moves and the shade moves, and then the umbrella doesn't always give the large expanse of shading. So the awning was a really good solution here. Now it is over a grill. Can You can't go over a grill. Actually, you know what? JC, come on over.
Hello, JC. Come
You
on
can
in.
either side. You let me know. Here, I'm gonna give you this. So
Hey, JC. Hi.
you can talk
I
more
feel like
about
we're in the living room talking together. We should have coffee or a glass of wine or something.
So this,
double that.
yeah, I was explaining to everyone out there in the virtual world that this was a project of yours, that we installed this awning on the client's railing, and that we had to make sure that everything was secure. It wasn't just like, hey, let's just throw this up there. And then talk to us about a little bit, because this is a grill that we put this over. So talk to everyone out there in
that's a good one. This is Henry.
Yes, in Instagram and Facebook worlds about installing over a grill.
So this is actually a very unique project. It's a retractable on a rail that wasn't sufficient enough to carry the weight nor the burden of the counterlever. So what we did was we actually added cantilever brakes into the cement, and we put some footings in. So the rail itself actually has metal going into the cement at an angle, 45 degrees, which actually holds the awning up. Henry knows that when grilling under an awning, it's always best to give yourself some more room, because eventually, not the first time, but eventually you will get grease stains on the fabric.
Henry is our customer.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry, we're on a first name basis.
Yeah, I can see that.
And but yeah, this setup was really good. There's a pool right there, so people come right out of the pool, sit under the awning, and cool off as well. It's a very nice setup.
Wow. Okay. So how did you determine, JC, that the railing was strong enough to withstand the awning? Like, what goes into that determination?
So actually, we determined that the railing was not strong enough to hold the awning. So that's why we added more support. Because, like I always tell people when I'm in their house, an awning, it's like holding a broom with your arms extended. And eventually you get tired, your arms start shaking. So you actually have to have a good support, and that's where the torsion bar comes into the awning. But the railing in this situation was not to the strength that we felt comfortable to have that kind of weight projected. So we added some supports that we dug into some footers to give it the adequate support, and he loves it.
So what goes into that determination? Do you like go and hang on it for some time and be like, all right, it's strong enough if it can withstand four of us installers? Or
well, it all depends on what the railing is made of. And this railing was actually hollow aluminum. So it was great enough if like your parents or your aunts are holding on to it to go up and down the stairs, because there are staircases to the right and left of this grill. But if you were to stand there and shake it, it was very...
So you could just tell that it was flimsy.
Yeah,
it's not like there's a special test that you have to put together.
Right. I mean,
Gotcha.
And you could touch it, you know immediately that it was hollow, and it was a hollow aluminum versus solid metal. That was the big difference there.
And it looks pretty low. Is it just the picture? Is it sort of a
I think it's just the angle.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just the angle. He wanted a 7'2" front bar clearing height. He wasn't that tall, but he had relatives that were. So what you're seeing right there is 7'2", and so he's like, well, you know, it's tall enough for people to stand under, but then it's also low enough for people sitting at the bar to then be covered and have some shade.
But no dancing on the bar in this situation.
Not on this one. Not on this one.
Okay.
All right. And then
Very cool.
hold on one quick second. And then
Yep.
Jamie in Facebook had a comment about the covered patio and the blacker molds. Well, the great thing about when you're doing a retractable awning over a grill, it gives you the flexibility of when you are grilling, you can bring it in. And that's what we always tell clients is that, look, these things aren't meant like you can, it's not going to cause like smoke damage and things like that. But when you are grilling, just bring it in the couple minutes that you're using the grill and then you can bring it right back out. So it gives you the flexibility of being able to have the shade when you have your guests sitting at the bar, but just bringing it in when you are using the grill. What is the angle per yard? Jamie, I'm not really sure what you mean by that.
Yeah, the pitch?
What is the... if you could clarify what you mean by that, Amy, or Jamie, then let us know.
I think she means what is the angle of the
pitch?
In the picture, it looks like it's straight. Like, what is the pitch? The picture makes it look like it's straight. Mm-hmm.
Right. On this one in particular, I believe it is close to a 10% pitch because he didn't want a 15.
So not that much.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that much, but this model does give you the ability to change the pitch angle on site depending on how you want it to be.
That was going to be my next question. What model of awning is this?
This is, I believe, is a Triumph.
A Triumph. Okay. So this is a Mac Daddy. So that this way the Triumph gives you the flexibility.
The Triumph is the model name or is it the vendor name?
The vendor is Durasol and Triumph is the style. And with the Triumph, it allows you to go for longer projections than the average awning. So what is the max projection on a Triumph?
So in the Triumph, the max projection is 15 feet 11 inches. Actually, it gets its name from
16 feet.
Yeah.
It gets its name from winning the best price per yard of projection in one of the national contests, and that's what they got the Triumph name from. Yeah.
Is it the largest projection there is, JC?
No, I mean there are systems that can go further, but then you're getting into mostly commercial jobs because residential jobs, they end up being more expensive than people need to. Hence the price point for this projection.
Gotcha. So what I'm hearing is if we have a residential situation and we need to get coverage of almost 16 feet, Triumph is our best, most economical option.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
How's that for a summary?
There you go. All right, on to the next one.
Yep.
So this one I know because I asked Carlos last night. This was a Bella Plus, and I think he said from what he could remember it was about 26 feet in width.
That's wide. That's very wide. So
that's why I wanted to show this one to show that a good chunk of this patio has been covered and shaded. So you have the flexibility to go really wide on awnings. You had a pretty wide one this summer that we've also featured on other awning videos. What was it, 31 feet?
31 feet,
yeah.
That's incredible. So really, this is an example of like if one of the objections that we may get is, why I can just use an umbrella and I can pitch an umbrella in every which way that I can. The umbrella only covers, I don't know, 5 feet of a diameter or whatever, whereas this is, my gosh, this is a whole patio covered.
Well, I always have that conversation with customers when they go from umbrellas to awnings. It's just more of, do you want to cover your entire party or just have 2 or 3 people sitting in the shade? and that's kind of like where people eventually graduate to that level is after they spend, each umbrella is $200 to $500. They, buy 2 or 3 of them over 2 years. And it just kind of doesn't become cost effective. Plus, it's never really that comfortable. It's like going to sleep with that blanket that's just too small. It doesn't cover your feet. And it doesn't actually do exactly what you need it to do.
And it becomes a pull and pull situation. You go here, and then your feet get on. You go back here again. And, as soon as you said about the party and how many people do you want to cover it, like my mind went back to the many parties that we've had. I have a very similar stone patio in my own house. And we don't have an awning. I think I need you, JC. We have a very weird situation happening there with a bump out of of our chimney, actually, and on the exterior. Anyway,
which you've actually just to hit on that point is what Kim was talking about before. When you have bump outs like chimney bump outs and stuff like that, you can actually build trellises and or similar weight bearing mini awnings or sheds or stationary.
and that's the one that we showed, I think, last time. Yeah, that I think there was a shed awning first, and then there was a retractable awning after that.
Yep.
That was really cool. But yeah, so to go back to my mental picture of my own parties, we have this umbrella, and it was, of course, we have it for my son's birthday, which is July 17th, and it's ungodly hot always on that day. And we have, 5 people just kind of crouching under like this little umbrella, and then just going to kind of scooch over as the sun moves. And, we have 50, 60, sometimes 70 people, I think, at those parties. And so, yeah, 95% of those people are not getting under that umbrella. All right, moving on.
So this is here, let's see, you can see it here. This is another example again that I wanted to show that whole entire patio is basically covered. And this is a roof mount.
That's a Triumph as well.
This is a Triumph as well. Yeah. So that this client really, I guess, wanted to, was this one of your projects? Yeah. So you talk about it.
So this was an older couple down near Princeton, and he had an issue with skin cancer, which he had beat, and he was good. But he also had, I want to say it was like 9 or 10 grandchildren that would come over for his birthday. His birthday is in July as well, just like your son's. And he was like, it's everybody wants to be outside, but he wouldn't be able to. He would watch his grandchildren and his children play from the living room. So he was very miserable on his own birthday. So his wife, for his birthday present, had this, and this is a Triumph. This comes out 15 feet 11, and I believe it's 19 feet wide, if memory serves. Strictly put out there so that he could go outside and hang out with his grandkids and enjoy the day without being, have that back of your mind fear of what he had to go through. But luckily he beat it.
That's such a great story. It just only goes to tell you that, yes, our product is awnings, our product is window treatments, but the value that we deliver and the stories that we change and the lives that we change go way, way, way beyond the product itself.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
So this is a profile shot of an awning retracted in. So I wanted everyone to kind of get a feel. And this is an Elite Up Plus that has a open hood. So the fabric is covered, but you do have a gap between the front bar and the hood. So this, my parents have this option. The Bella Plus, or with the cassette where everything's kind of concealed, that's fairly new to the market, a couple years now. But this was kind of like a standard awning that you could have gotten, 20, 30 years ago.
Okay. And then here it is.
And then you can see, and this, another reason why I wanted to show this is like, you can see the perimeter of how much of that table and that deck is covered. As opposed to
a lot.
Like as opposed to if you had an umbrella, you're not getting that big rectangle covered, that entire table. You can have people over for a barbecue and not worry about, grandma's, put grandma under the umbrella and
and the rest of us can fry over here.
Yeah. So
JC, can you tell just from looking at the picture, I'm not sure if that's one of your projects, what the pitch of this one is? Because it looks almost straight as well.
No, actually, that has a little bit of a pitch to it.
Right. But it seems so minimal. I don't know.
Right. And in this situation, I don't think this is one of my projects, but in this situation, they were just going for max projection, straight pitch. And actually, the cool thing about it is actually in the picture before, you can see that the valance is a straight valance instead of your grandmother's scalloped valance, which a lot of people don't like as much anymore. But the straight valance is more contemporary. It's double hemmed, it's stitched, so it lasts a little bit longer than say a braid. But actually, it does have that kind of nice chic look that people do like.
Yep, more sleek and contemporary.
And then, Jamie, your question about like debris and pine cones and things like that. Yeah, you can, with a leaf blower, you can blow them off and things like that. Careful for any bird's nests because that happens. Um, my dad's been surprised with a couple of birds over the years, but yeah, you can definitely hit it with a leaf blower and it won't do any type of damage.
And or a hose, but never a power washer.
No power washing.
Right. The power washing is the reason I know is because we just power washed our house last weekend. My poor husband, he came inside and he's like all shaking because of the pressure.
Yeah.
It's very, very strong. All right. Okay. This is a gorgeous project.
This one is another triumph. This one was a project that we did a couple I want to say like 10 years ago, but it's one of my favorite because I just love the whole atmosphere and the vibe of this backyard. This is also another triumph again because they have a big deck and they wanted to cover a lot of space. And it also, these particular clients, the awning also provides shade for them on the interior side of their house because where the awning is over, they have a very large kitchen and with very tall windows. So this was providing shade because of the angle of the sun, the way it would come in. So even if they weren't outside on sunny days, they would retract the awning out a couple of feet to help give them the shade that they needed in the kitchen because they had a really big kitchen table right by these windows. Such a good idea. Yeah.
Awesome.
And then that's the profile shot. So you can see all the sliding glass doors that are leading into the kitchen area there that help, the awning helps give shade not only to the outside, but to the inside.
Yeah, that's really great. I mean, it's amazing. Really, the takeaways from all these awnings is the fact, number one, is that it can provide a lot more shade than any umbrella can. And number two is that it can really help on the inside and controlling the temperature and providing shade on the inside as well. So.
Yeah, and it sounds a little obvious, but for the listeners, just in case they're not aware, the awning isn't completely open or completely closed. You can actually have it be at any stage that you want. So to Kim's point, if everyone's inside and they want a little bit more shade, you can open it 3 feet and cover the shade on the inside. But then there are people who do love the sun. So if you're sitting out here in this particular picture, if you only want the people, half the people that will be in the sun versus the shade, you can open it halfway and then accommodate everyone. It doesn't always have to be completely open or completely closed.
You do have flexibility on how far out you project it from the home.
Nice. That's a really good clarifying point too. And JC, another question, the side hardware, those retractable arms, they do have to be bent like this, right? They never come out completely open. Talk to us about that.
Well, it's designed for suspension. So life happens, right? You can be sitting out here, have a beautiful day, and then all of a sudden a wind gust hits. So it's designed to be slightly bent as a shock absorber, so that actually not all the pressure goes to the torsion bar and actually could survive, so to speak, some wind gusts.
Because otherwise it would just blow off, kind of like a sail.
They're not designed to blow off like sails, because then that puts a little bit of fear into people. But what would happen if people like who was it? John Silverman, I believe. He went away for the weekend and his kids had a house party unbeknownst to him, and they left the awning out all night. And in the morning, the wind had hit it, and the way that it's designed, it does have a little bit of a shock absorbency, but the wind eventually overcame it and the arms broke. So the awning just fell to the deck, but it didn't rip off like a sail. But that's kind of the way that they're designed.
Yeah, usually you could tell when an awning, the fabric is facing down. You're like, oh, that got a shot of wind, because it won't fly up like a sail.
Like it won't go up like this.
No.
Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah. Just don't leave it out in the wind. Retract it back.
Exactly.
Right. And actually, here's a question. Is there an opportunity, just like with window treatments, to control these via a phone or any kind of smart device?
Yeah, you can definitely put them on a smart app. A lot of people like to have, as a precautionary, they put wind sensors on them so that if it gets too windy, it'll retract on its own. Or if you forgot to retract it and you go out to get milk, you can actually do it from your phone with a Myling system.
Somfy Myling system, right? Yeah. Because most of these motors are Somfy motors.
Correct.
Good. I think that's really helpful and almost ingenious. I think sometimes even more so than even window treatments, because with window treatments, if you forget to close them, lower them, or lift them, it's not like anything will happen to the lifts, to the window treatments themselves or the house. Whereas with an awning, if it's large enough and the wind gusts are strong enough, or if the rain is strong enough, then I think the risks and the dangers are a little bit more. So to have that ability to control it via phone, if you're miles and miles away, I think is very, very powerful.
Most indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that concludes our presentation for today.
Well,
JC, that was so wonderful to have you. That was such a great
Thank you for having
surprise. I
me,
love
ladies.
it. Yes. Stick around while we talk about our goodies.
all right.
From Vitalia Inc., we have a special report, 3 secrets to choosing a perfect awning. You can grab yours at Vitalia Inc. /awnings.com. And I know WindowWorks has one as well.
We do. And we have a mini magazine, the Custom Awning Buying Guide. So if you are in the market for an awning, you can download this free PDF that we have on our website. If you are in the New Jersey and New York area and you are interested in an awning, please give us a call. Oh, see, Jean, you rock. And then
JC, you're a rock star.
You could have GC come out, GC or Rich come out, and show you the best way to cover your patio.
Awesome. And if you're wondering what's happening in Luann's world, you can always check out her podcast, A Well-Designed Business. She is up to episode, Kim, 600 something. I mean, just right. Just incredible stuff. She does minimum of 2 episodes per week. Sometimes it's up to 3, and I think it's on some weeks it was up to 4, which was just incredible. So you absolutely have to follow Luann and subscribe to her podcast, not because she's amazing, but also because I am co-hosting some of these episodes with her. We do every month or so, we try to do a Window Treatment Friday episode, which is essentially how this whole series started. It was Luann and I that started about a year and a half ago or so. And so on a Friday, about once a month, we talk about window treatments. And about half a year ago, Kim and I thought, well, what a great idea to talk about window treatments on Fridays, but instead of just talking about them, let's show people some visuals and some pictures and some good eye candy. So that's how this particular live series came into being. That's me again. All right, Kim, you go. You tell us about how to connect with you.
All right. So if you want to connect with us here at WindowWorks, whether it is a window treatment project or an awning project, please give us a call. We service the New Jersey, New York area and beyond, wherever you need us to go. We are a concierge service, so we will help you pick the proper fabrics. You don't have to worry about all the ordering and all that process. We handle all that for you from start to finish, whether you're an interior designer in the area or out of state. We have a lot of interior designers who are out of state that have clients here on the East Coast in Jersey and New York, and we'd be happy to help you as well. So we get calls all the time. So we'd be, and for any window treatment or awning project.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, that's not it. I got to go backwards. All right. And to connect with me and my company, Vitalia Inc., you have my phone number here. You have my email, of course, Instagram as well. We have a Facebook page. But essentially, Vitalia Inc. is a one-stop shop, your go-to resource for all things window treatments and now awnings with JC's help. And if you are looking for that VIP treatment for a true partner who has your back, and I'm talking to interior designers right now because that's pretty much who we service, please give us a call. We've had several designers really in the past couple of months tell us what headaches they've had elsewhere and how they don't want to wake up in the middle of the night thinking about and worrying about window treatments, and how we take off the stress. And we sure do. We take the stress off of your shoulders. We put that stress onto ours. It's a 24/7 job of 5 people around here. So if you are in the Philadelphia area, give us a call. We'll be happy to support you.
All right, everyone. Well, that is this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Because if it's Friday,
it's Window Treatment Friday live with Vita and Kim. So join us here every Friday at 12 noon on Instagram and Facebook. And until then, have a good evening.
bye.
I was
Have a
meant to
great
say
weekend.
weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.